you know that this generation is the most anxious generation in recorded human history?
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised, right?
Yeah.
And we know that there's a great level. Yeah, some of that is physical, some of that is mental, but most of that roots from a spiritual reality. And a lot of the battles that people are fighting are spiritual.
Yeah.
And I think today is going to really help people, give them real practical frameworks and weapons to be able to not just survive Christianity, but thrive and really be more than overcomers. So we'll hop into the contents of that a little bit, but I'd love for you to take us back, man. Like, tell us a little bit about your story, and because you weren't always a preacher. You were definitely not writing books like this earlier in your life. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was heathen, man.
Heathen?
Heathen. I tell people that God has called me to the Deliverance ministry. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because I'm a recipient of his deliverance. I was very broken. I come from great. My mom is great, but my dad did 13 years in jail. I was sexually abused at a young age many times by male figures or male cousins or male friends. Well, that led me into a lifestyle of homosexuality for 18 years of same-sex attraction to the point where I was in a relationship with a guy. Most people would never think that, but it's true. My mom struggled with drug and alcohol addiction for many, many years. Tried to commit suicide like 3 times, but couldn't do it. God wouldn't let it happen. Stabbed myself in the head with some scissors. Took as many.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and I have a hole in my. I have a little bald spot. It's never grown back.
Where?
In the top of my head up here.
You tried to take some scissors and stab yourself in the top of your head?
Yes.
How old were you?
I was like young. I was like probably like 5, 6, 7. I had to be around those ages. I was young. I didn't know.
Bro, that is demonic, man.
That is demonic. And so that spirit of death was trying to take me out from a very young age. Took a bottle of pills, and they had to pump my stomach twice. They was going to put me in the crazy, they called it the crazy back then, but the insane asylum. Yeah, they were going to put me in that wing of the hospital. They had to wrap my arms up, the whole 9 yards, and I was bad, man. I was paying people for sex. It was a really bad season, and I started to get really addicted to drugs and alcohol, drinking, and going to clubs, 22 shots. I mean, I was bad. And just lost, darkness, man, fighting all the time in school. My mom, she was in a lot of abusive relationships, so I struggled with abandonment issues really bad. I remember guys, her waking up to guys screaming, and she married a monster. My childhood became a monster. It became a nightmare when she married him. I mean, he would just have going these tangents and rages, breaking glass and calling her bees and the B word and different things. And I hated him. And I was mad at her. And now we have a great relationship, and she did the best she could. But it was rough, man. And even though I was raised in church, I had a grandmother that loved the Lord, and my mom loved the Lord in her way. But she really struggled with her own demons, but she kept food on the table and kept us in a good home, a good house. We had a house to live in. Raised in church. But I didn't really know God. I knew of God, and there's a difference. And I knew of God, but I don't remember anything that ever happened in church, in school, in church growing up. But I remember one thing, this church that my grandmother was a mother at, a man walked up the aisle on all fours and was growling at the pastor. And he began to do deliverance on the guy, and the guy was speaking out in demonic language. And my mom said, I should have known you were a different child even then because you gravitated toward that. She said, you got up and lifted your hands out toward the man. And I was like 6 years old probably. But I wasn't scared. So most children would have been scared of something like that. But I believe it was the deliverance that I was going to be called to was calling out from that.
Whoa.
Was calling out from a child. I was gravitated toward engaging the enemy. And all that, it was just, I didn't think I would make it past 18. Actually, my dad said you either being dead or in jail by the time you're 18, because that's the road I was on. Most of my friends when I was growing up have life in prison. I can't remember any of them. One of my friends now just beat up his mother. He used to be a friend of mine, and he's in and out of jail. So my whole circle was contaminated.
It's broken.
Just broken, man. And so, yeah, man, my background is one of hope, because if God can, literally, if God can do it for me, He can do it for anybody.
So when you were 6, that was your first encounter in a church service with the demonic.
Yes.
Did your pastor did he invite someone to come up to get deliverance, or was he just preaching and then this guy just started? If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another video like it, you can just click right over here. Or if you want to see my other channel, Directed Life, full-length interviews and really deep conversations, you can click over here.